This right here is an old Pinnacle boiler. These were kind of popular maybe 25, 30 years ago. They were okay boilers. Kind of everybody that I know that's worked on them says that they're complete junk, but I think they were kind of ahead of their time. If you look at how they are set up, they've got like a combustion blower, gas valve, all in one assembly. But the thing that they really had cool going for them is that they've got a stainless steel heat exchanger. So if you look at this is actually stainless steel. Clearly this has been laying out in the pile for multiple years. But I kind of want to take this into the garage and actually tear it down a little bit. I'm sorting scrap metal. So this kind of needs to get pulled out of this plastic shell anyway, so that it can go to the scrap yard. But I'm a little bit curious about how they have this thing set up in there. So I might try to thread these nipples out and then extract the core. Look at it a little closer in the shop. It appears to have, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell if it's copper or brass. I think it's brass. But they're kind of a weird fitting, or at least the other one was, because it tapers down. We'll see if this one's the same way. Yeah, look at that. Tapers from 1 inch, or from 1.25 inches down to 1 inch. That really looks like copper. I think it's brass though, but kind of hard to tell. Those are actually nice fittings to pull out and recycle separately anyway. So there's nothing really holding it in there except for those fittings and where this goes through the sidewall. So pulled it out and there's just loose insulation around there. But check it out, just a little stainless steel held together with these, some sort of a clamp. But we'll take it over to the garage and kind of dissect it a little further. It's kind of interesting looking. Alright, so we got that thing brought over to the shop. It's extraordinarily windy today, so we're gonna actually take it apart the rest of the way and see how they kind of laid it out. It looks like these side fittings are actually held on using these stainless steel straps that have been tightened and then crimped. Kind of interesting to see how that's actually held in there, but like it honestly seems like there's a gasket or something here, and that this little pipe manifold is only held on with that strap. Unfortunately, my last cutoff wheel got cracked, so I'm afraid to use it, and I think for good reason. So we're actually gonna just use a hacksaw and cut through these bands on here. I already started on this one to see how bad it was. Doesn't seem too bad. So.
Too loud for my baby's ears.
My sawing is too loud for your baby's ears?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just try to saw really quickly. Alright, just plug your baby's ears for a minute. You can plug your ears too, Ada. Alright. All three of those straps are now cut. So I don't know if this will just pop off of here or if it's like glued on or pressed on or what. These must be a couple of temperature probes perhaps. I believe that's what those are. I suppose one of these was supply, one was return. There's all the stainless steel strapping material. And then there's just like a random threaded piece of stainless steel tubing in here as a support, I guess, for the burner. But yeah, I can't exactly tell. I think these are just like pressed on with some adhesive and then held on with those straps. So maybe I can get a pry bar in here and actually pop this. So where the relief valve is threaded in, this fitting right here is actually pretty nice. It's a brass 3/4 by 3/4 male to female adapter, 90 adapter. But you can see it threaded off of the end cap, which just uses an O-ring in a groove to seal off from the manifold end. I don't know if that's a part number or if that's the type of stainless steel. But this does have a little bit of flex in it, so I think that our theory is correct and that we can just pry this straight up to get it off of there. Alright, ready? Did it come off? Whoa, cool. Is that cool? That's actually incredible that these don't leak. I don't think I've come across one that was leaking on this connection here. But you can see it's just a pretty decent sidewall. 1/8 inch sidewall, piece of stainless steel tubing with holes cut in it, and then a slightly tapered heat exchanger tube. They just put some high temp silicone on there and squish it together, hold it with those straps, and
Just works out.
just works out, I guess. That's kind of amazing though. What do you think about that, Ada? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah? Here, do you want this piece? It's kind of heavy. You got it?
Yeah.
Is it heavy?
Yeah.
Okay. But that is surprising to me. Just not, it doesn't seem like a very robust connection. That boiler system obviously had some iron scale in it. So that means this other side should come off pretty much the same way. Should be able to just, oh, this side's a little tighter. There it goes. But yeah, that's how they attach that. I've wondered about that before because I've seen those straps in there. But that is much more basic than I expected. I can see this potentially being a problem where the silicone gets kind of around, maybe restricts the water flow a little bit, but I guess as long as it didn't go too far, it wasn't really an issue. Oh, so then these, each of these must go in a loop around the burner because, or somehow they go into like plates. Yeah, that's not just basic tubing, that's like an actual heat exchanger. The data plate is just crimped in there. Let's see if we can see what year this was made. 2005. Right there. I like it when manufacturers just clearly mark what year their stuff was made. 21 years ago. I think it's been sitting in the junk pile for a few years. So, I don't know. I guess they just had some problems with these things. It's interesting how they mount the like gas valve and combustion blower all so close together. Like, it does seem like a nice, simple idea, anyway. So those 3 screws there held the gas valve on. Looks like the gas valve very directly dumps into the blower. Kind of like some of the train units use like a negative pressure vacuum or a negative pressure gas valve, which is probably what this would be considered. Made in the Netherlands? That's unexpected. I didn't know they made anything over there. I thought they were too busy maintaining their wall, keeping the ocean in. No. Oh, wow. Look how exposed this board is. That's pretty surprising. Permanent magnet. See how it checks back and forth like that? That means there's positions that it wants to be in and positions it doesn't want to be in. Possibly just one. How did that interface with the motor? Because I didn't really... These 2 pins, I guess? Oh, right there. Look at that. So those 2 pins plug directly into the motor as you plug this in. I was thinking there were no wires. I didn't break any wires off. But yeah, a lot of ECM boards kind of like this now have a resin poured over them to protect them from moisture. You can see the magnets in there. See, the screw wants to hang out in there. Very interesting vibration absorbers, how many there are, I mean. Like, this does seem pretty premium as far as its construction. So that's where the gas comes in. That screw right there must... Oh, it's like... it's almost like a gate valve, I guess? Kind of deciding how much fuel is going to actually make it into the system by adjusting that screw there. And then this must be a restrictor, and it's got like a venturi shape to it. A lot of complicated Honeywell castings on this thing. There's that blower. Appears to just be a plastic one pressed onto the motor. Just another very nice casting. We're almost into the combustion chamber, but there's a couple fasteners that were really rusted on here, so the socket won't engage properly. Channel locks to the rescue again. I got it broke loose. I just gotta painstakingly thread it off now. It's just a very slow process. It's taking me a bit, but I should be able to open this. Alright, finally got that last one out. Let's have a look. I don't really know what to expect here. Oh, wow. That's actually a lot more complicated than I expected. So, it's blowing the fuel-air mixture through this stainless steel screen, which is where the actual flame then ignites. The spark must just spark directly to this cone in order to light it. There's a little sight glass window right here, so you can see the flame. This is some sort of fiberglass, or I would say asbestos, but I'm sure it's not asbestos. It can't be asbestos, right? But that is quite the little burner. I really wasn't actually expecting there to be... I guess I don't know what I was expecting, but that's kind of cool. Now we can look at this heat exchanger a little bit better. Look how messed up Oh, okay, so this must be the flame sensor. Oh yeah, so this was supposed to be... so the spark gap is actually here. It doesn't spark directly to the cone. That would have been the spark gap for lighting. It's just that this broke off. And this one maybe was the flame sensor. Now that one looks like it's got two spark assemblies. Both of those look like spark assemblies to me, but maybe they just use the same style post for the flame sensor as well. Don't really know. So this way would have been up, and looking at that, I don't know, that heat exchanger looks messed up to me. Doesn't that look really sloppy in there? Let's look at the bottom. Oh yeah, so the bottom is nice and even. I can't tell if all of that being shaped like that is because of it overheating and like swelling up, or no, it must just be where the tubing changes directions. It just kind of looks, it looks sloppy, but I actually don't really know that it is. Yeah, it's spilling out some icky stuff. There's one Allen right there. We should take that out. Maybe we can pull this. But the flame obviously blows through here. It must have to escape through all these tiny channels between the water jackets in order to get out the exhaust. But let's pull this out and see if we can remove this cone and see what's on the other side. So I tried to loosen that screw. I cannot get it loosened, so that's just gonna stay in there. But I'm guessing it's just holding this stuff in. Obviously, we're not gonna breathe this dust, nasty stuff. But it looks like it just hits a wall on the other side anyway. So yeah, I think that's about it for the. So it's just the flame sits right here, heats the water jacket. I guess all that tubing is pretty much within this space right here. And then the back plate exhaust, I guess, just gets sucked through and around everything. So right on the other side of the wall right here would be the combustion chamber. And this must be that. That's that plate that we can see on the other side. Let's pull these screws out of here. Let's check out, I would call this a top hat burner. Oh, didn't quite get that screw all the way out. Doesn't it look like a top hat? It looks like a felt top hat. So that is a double-walled burner. Basically like a steel wall, stainless steel wall material on the outside, and then reminds me of a muffler or something. That's kind of cool. You could almost use it like an air filter screen or something. And there's where the air comes in. So yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna pick up all the junk parts and get them thrown outside. So out of all the parts that I got, I suppose this brass fitting's pretty nice. This little piece of square stainless steel tubing is kind of nice. I wish there was more of this on there. And then these are heavy duty enough that I think I'll leave them around just because it seems like there might be some use for them at some point. I wish these holes were threaded, but alas, they're not. And then stainless steel strap. Sometimes it's nice to have stainless steel for stuff. And this is a decently heavy strap, so maybe I'll throw that in my stainless steel pile. Anyway, it was kind of fun to tear that apart. Like I said, I had questions about how they had put it together, so was finally curious enough to actually take the time and pull it apart. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, comment down below and let me know. And I've got a video where I took apart a compressor. If you didn't see that, I'll link to that one in the description, because I'll be linking this video in the description of that video, because I mentioned that I was going to be taking that apart later. So anyway, hope that you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later.